JC Money, you want to challenge me to a Rochester street fight? You're undefeated there. I've never been in there. That's something I've never been in, so I had to go back home. I had to go back to my roots, to the pumpkin patch. And now they're all talking. They're all guiding me. They're all speaking in one as if Archie were here. They're empowering me. They're telling me what I need to do. They're telling me that I cannot stop. I will not stop. That's right. That's right. Until every last drop of blood that you have, JC, by God, money, is used to paint the walls of the Sweden Clarkson Community Center. I was flipping through the channels one day at my grandparents' house, and I came on wrestling and started watching it. There was something about it that just captivated me and hooked me really ever since. I used to play basketball when I was in high school. And that was one thing to have people cheering for you there, but wrestling is like nothing you can ever compare it to. When you're in there and the crowd is reacting to you, it's better than any kind of drug. I was told I couldn't do, I didn't have a look for, I wasn't big enough, I wasn't talented enough. I want to take this as far as I can go. Damn it, I want to be a pro wrestler, nothing's gonna stop me. And, you know, those are the people that end up making it sometimes. It was in January of 1999. It was my second half of my senior year of high school. I heard about a training school that was opening up. I was in there sparring, training, you know, wrestling with, you know, a guy who thought that he was a big shot and didn't like guys walking in off the street. I mean, I was, you know, 115 pounds then. He thought I was never going to make it, so he took liberties with me. I had trouble getting out of bed the next day, but I said, you know what, this is kind of fun.
My name is Catherine Palumbos. I'm 23 years old, and I'm Larry's wife. Well, we met through MySpace. He just started instant messaging me one day, and
I'm sure she thought that it was pretty weird at first, because she caught me right at one of my phases where I was heavily into wrestling.
I guess I understand it a little more, but I'm still not a fan. I guess to each his own. If he really likes it, then he can go right ahead and do it.
To be honest, not much. I thought he's really tiny, as you can see.
To be honest, I didn't know he was a wrestler, but
he's a great person to train with. Somebody that's smaller in stature as a wrestler that I can kind of emulate a little bit.
They said, well, you need a name. You should go with something, make it sound like quick, like, you know, Johnny Blaze or Johnny Bravo. And I said, well, what about Johnny Swift? Like, oh yeah, that sounds good, that fits you. Yeah, you know, I've tried to lose that name, but no matter what happens, it's me. I'm Johnny Swift.
When I first met him, he had the dark hair, the full beard, whatever. Looked like somebody who sat in front of a computer. I said to him, you know, why are you so quiet? He's like, no, I'm just quiet. No, you're not. There's something inside of you, you know? And literally, I took him for the makeover. Because him and his former girlfriend had broke up.
I was involved with a girl for about 4 years that I was pretty serious about wanting to marry. She wasn't supportive about wrestling. She thought it was just a foolish hobby. And she is actually what inspired me to want to wrestle as much as I did.
So I'm like, we're gonna do a makeover. He's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, you're cutting your hair, you know, cutting it down, spike it, whatever.
You know how when you go home and you don't really want to be there? You know, it was like that. Wherever we were together, I wanted to be somewhere else, and wrestling was my escape. Whenever I can get out, you know, for a weekend booking, I can. I try and hit 2-3 shows a trip that I get out. That's my realm. I put everything else aside, and it's just 4 ropes, you, your opponent, and the ref. Football. You can buy a football, you know, you can go out and you can play tackle, you can play two-hand touch. You can buy a basketball and play a game. You can't get into a wrestling ring unless you know a way in. So it's something that, okay, we can't do, but we know a little bit. We know what it's like to get punched in the face, you know, like get put in a headlock. But the rest of it, it's built up in the imaginations of them to, you know, the people become larger than life. The wrestlers are living out something that they can't do, and they live vicariously through what's going on in the ring.
You leave those kids alone! You leave them alone! They're just kids! They're just kids! I don't care if you have that! They're just kids! They're just kids! They are nothing!
Seriously, you suck! Nice title, Gaylord! Oh yeah, nice face there, baby! What, you trying to spit on me? You suck! Oh, I'm scared, I'm dying! Ah! You suck!
Bring it in, guys.
You're breaking your neck, I
We got your children back.
You suck!
It's a good thing to follow because, you know, it's original. I mean, it's not really, you never really see people worshiping pumpkins all that much, you know?
The singlet that I had really wanted was always like $50. It's finally on clearance for 20 bucks. So I bought it, and I'm backstage at a show, getting ready to go off for my match, and my opponent gets on the microphone. And he says, there's some guy out running around backstage looking like an overgrown pumpkin on crack.
You sent me to fight Charlie Brown? It rips this kid apart, and the look on his face is horror. The most unforeseen thing happens. The crowd starts chanting pumpkin, because of what JC said, right? They start chanting pumpkin, and I'm getting goosebumps. Look at that, I'm getting goosebumps. What the hell was that? And I'm like, I don't know, but you need to run with that.
That company had a show on April 1st, April Fool's Day. So, to celebrate the guy who called me an overgrown pumpkin on crack, I sent him a special celebration gift.
Oh, what is this, some sort of game? Yes. Oh, you think that's funny? Oh, you think that's real funny? You gotta share it. What's in the box there, JC? I am sharing nothing. That's it. I'm leaving. That's not. That's bad. No.
That's how Archie came about.
Yes, I will.
Can anybody else know?
Well, yeah, I think I can. The one thing it takes is passion. It doesn't matter if you have charisma. It doesn't matter if you have talent or size or looks. If you don't have the passion to do this, you could make $1 million a year, and that'll seem like a lot of money, which it is. Don't get me wrong. But when you're sitting in a hotel room and you're beat up and you're emotionally tired and you're physically tired, thank you, and you've been on the road for 18 days and you have 5 more days to go. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, you've got to be up by 6. You've been on the phone with your girlfriend or wife or significant other for the last 2 hours with them bitching about the fact that they never see you and that you're only going to go home after 5 days from now for only 3 and then go back out for another 10 to 12. $1 million doesn't seem like a whole lot of money.
My wrestling persona is my real life persona amped up times 300. So there has to be something bigger than life that, you know, draws you in. Otherwise, there's nothing for the fans to care about you for. And, you know, they happen to relate to pumpkins. Yeah, pretty much always want to be in the ring. It's, you know, free. You know, a lot of people who are like professional basketball players say, well, what do you do to unwind? I play basketball because I'm free. You know, you get out in front of the crowd, you just got to put it all behind you. You have to live for the moment. Don't think about what's going on outside of the ring. Stay in the moment. Stay putting on the show for the fans. Because without the fans, you know, you don't have a wrestling show. Without a wrestling show, you're not a wrestler. You're just a guy in tights. If it ever affected my marriage, then it's gone. My priority first is that I'm a husband. I have a good thing. I have a good life outside of wrestling. I have a good life with wrestling too. But I'm not going to ruin my good life just so that I can, you know, live out a weekend warrior fantasy.
Something that I practice, I take very seriously. I've been in a couple competitions. You know, I haven't done too well, but you know, I'm working on it. There's a world championship for air guitar, and that's my goal right now, outside of wrestling, obviously.